This adventure started when I bought a new car from across the country, sight unseen, and I had a local shop do a pre-purchase inspection before I signed the paperwork. And that's what I'm showing here. The tread wear was decent front and back. They had a picture of the front tires, and it seemed to imply or claim that all four tires were the same type. So I thought I was in good shape. When the vehicle showed up, I found that the front tires were the stock Goodyear asymmetric 3s, which are a 240 or so UTQG rating, high performance summer tire. And the rears were the Goodyear Eagle Exhilarate, which have a little bit more silica in the rubber compound and are intended to be high performance all season tires and have a little bit longer tread life. Because I planned to track the car, I wanted a balanced compound across all four tires and really wanted them all to match. I started looking at options on Discount Tire, and the rear tires, which are 275 35 R20s, were $375 a piece. With mounting, you're looking at around $800 to get these rear tires replaced. And frankly, what I really wanted was Extreme Contact Sport 2 from Continentals. I just really like those tires. I had good experience with them. But I didn't want to replace all four tires either because, the fronts did have some decent tread life left. On top of that, I didn't really want to replace the rear tires with new tires and then have a kind of varying life across the front and rears, because I would like these tires to all kind of wear out around the same point in time so that I can get a new set of four. Then I came across this website, United Tires. They were offering 2 used Goodyear F1 asymmetric 3s for a remarkably low price, and that price included shipping. I did some research on the company through the Better Business Bureau. There was a decent number of complaints there about quality, although almost all of them had been addressed by the business and oftentimes through reimbursement or returns of some kind. And then I also found this video on YouTube where they talked about their process of inspecting the tires. So I'll just be quiet and let this play.
Every single tire goes through multi-point inspection. First, tire goes through visual inspection to see if there was any previous damage to the tire. If we spot any defects, we will recycle the tire. If you find a nail on the tread section of the tire, our technician would professionally repair the tire. Second, we do wet inspection. We inflate tires to 60 psi to check for further defects or any leaks. And final step is cleaning process. Each tire gets cleaned and stored on racks for further delivery.
So at this point, I'm feeling I might be willing to take the chance. I email United, I ask a couple questions about the tires, and they reply within a few minutes actually with the age of the tire, the DOT code, and a note that they had not been repaired or patched in any way. Realistically, a tire's probably not going to dry rot in the year and a half or so that these tires have aged since they were on the whatever car they were on. So I decided to take a chance. I figured worst case scenario, I'll get to make a video or something and show other people what I learned. So I placed the order and the tires showed up, I think 4 or 5 days later. And here they are sitting in my kitchen. So here's a rolling inspection of tire number 1 upon delivery. Honestly, it looked pretty good. It had, some wear. It didn't appear to have been cleaned, but I didn't find anything that concerned me. I checked the tread wear with a flat bottom plastic ruler as well as a tread depth gauge and came out with around 7/32, which I would say is more of an average measurement across the tire versus the 7.5 claimed online, but I expected some difference there. And then here's the rolling inspection on tire number 2. Started out pretty good. Looks similarly used, but no major dry rot issues or punctures. And then I get towards the end here, and what appears to be a nail in the center of the tread on the tire. Luckily, not on the sidewall. Checking the tread depth on tire number 2, similar results to tire number 1. a little bit below maybe what the website had said, but reasonable. Here's a picture of the Imperfection with the ruler. It's a small nail, but it does appear like it had gone fairly deep. United had emailed me as soon as I took delivery of these tires asking if I was satisfied, so I shot that picture back to them along with a note that, there was clearly something going on here. They asked for a little bit more details, a few more photos, which I put together and sent them and did some further inspection. So here's a picture after I removed that quote-unquote nail. It turned out to be a small screw. A measurement there. It's a little bit more than a 1/4 inch long. And then a picture of the inside of the tire. You can see that the screw did not pierce the inner liner. United offered to cover the cost of a repair if one was needed and extend a 10% discount to the price of the tire, which I tentatively accepted pending an opinion from a tire shop. And this is just showing that you can fit two 275 by 20 tires in the back of a Camaro. The guys at the tire shop agreed with my assessment that the inner liner not being pierced meant that no repair was necessary. And shout out Pedro's Tire Shop. A little bit of driving later, no measurable change in pressures beyond set point, other than typical changes from temperature fluctuations. Email back and forth with United. I decided to request just a $30 reimbursement for the trouble and the risk that I took on. Didn't end up having to pay for the repair, but they agreed with that immediately and sent the credit that day. So I ended up spending about $290 net. The cost of the tires had gone up $20 between when I first emailed them and when I made the purchase. So with the reimbursement and the mounting, that $290 is what I spent total, versus $800 if I had replaced the 2 rear tires with new, or around $1,500 if I had gone ahead and replaced all 4. Would I do this again? For me, this is a unique situation with a high-performance, expensive tire. Typically, tires on a commuter car are, smaller, cheaper. Generally speaking, I think you should buy new. There are going to be situations where maybe it doesn't make as much sense. And in that case, maybe you'll get lucky like I did. So while I clearly think you're taking a chance when you buy a used tire, I'm happy that I did. And I may do it again in the future. There's a YouTuber by the name of Luso Overland who's also worth checking out. He bought 4 tires and 3 of the 4 were good. The 4th was definitely in need of a repair. I'd advise you check that one out. One of the questions this process raised for me is, what's the business model of this company really? In that video of inspection, they're carefully looking over every inch of the tire and pressure testing, pulling out screws, making repairs as required. You would think that would have caught my issue and maybe at the very least resulted in a disclaimer, if not like the consideration of repair on United's end. I suspect the model here is really just high volume sales, risks is on the consumer, and then the company protects its reputation through refunds, partial refunds, and good customer service. I hope this video was helpful, and if you do choose to order tires from United, I'd love to hear how it works out for you. Good luck.